audio checks. All right, is everybody ready? All right, my name is Jaylani Hussein. I'm the Executive Director of CAIR-Minnesota. Today we are here at Masjid An-Nur. I will keep my comments a little bit at the back of the press conference. I want to start us off with the Imam of the Mosque, Imam Makr al-Amin, who will explain what took place here last night or yesterday and the impact it has on our community and the details.
Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Masjid An-Nur. My name is Makram El-Amin, Imam Makram El-Amin. That's M-A-K-R-A-M, El-Amin, E-L-A-M-I-N. Again, the Imam of Masjid An-Nur here. Yesterday, approximately 5:30, 5:40, in that time frame, as the third prayer that was concluding for the day and people were dispersing back to their vehicles, one of our elderly members, Abdul Kareem, 75-year-old pioneer about this community, a beloved member of this community, was leaving, exiting the mosque, headed back to his vehicle, when he noticed that there were some individuals hanging out along 18th Avenue, kind of loitering, hanging out. And as he puts it, what seems to be transacting or dealing of some sort on the avenue here. And he and another member of the mosque, approached them or sought to approach them to ask them to move on, essentially. Some words were exchanged, and a driver in a vehicle, a white SUV, had some words, drove off, and then subsequently made a U-turn and came back and opened fire to Abdul Kareem, and striking him at least 3 times, and in his arm, his shoulder. Thank God he is in stable condition. Still had to have a surgical procedures to remove his fragments, etc. We are hopeful that he will be out of surgery very soon. But this is something that has shaken the community. Something that has, for all that the work that we do here at Masjid and Al-Ma'un, serving the community, being engaged with the community, for this to happen here in this space is still unsettling, to say the least, to the members, our team, our staff, the community at large, who have really poured out their support to us, and we're grateful for that. But we definitely want this individual brought to justice. There seems to be a spike in the area, other things that are happening, hit and runs and other things in this community that are happening recently. And we're here to be an asset to the community. And we're calling on this violence to stop. We're calling this violence to stop. And we're here to stay. But we're also, I want to be very vigilant to make certain that this is a safe sanctuary place for people to come and get their needs met without fear. So yes, this is a tragic situation. Again, 75 years old, a person who walks with a cane half the time, the most beloved person. You all would love him. You would love him, literally. So for this to happen to a person like this here is just, it's an unspeakable tragedy. And we should all feel violated as a community when something like this takes place. So we're hopeful that he comes through, and be with us. Thank God they weren't life-threatening, but just the fact that he has to go through this at this point in his life is a tragedy. It's something that we should all pause for and be outraged about as a community. So again, I'm grateful for your presence here, and we wanted to have Bilal to speak to. He's with him, spent the morning with him while he was in surgery. Before surgery, he was kind of update us on his condition a little bit, inshallah.
Again, my name is Bilal Muhammad. I'm the operations director here at Al-Ma'un. I got the call yesterday after the prayer, and we're also in charge of the security cameras. And we were able to see and identify some things that happened, because you hear the gunshots as they were being fired. And as the Imam said, Abdul Kareem, he's a beloved member of this community. A lot of people are very upset, very angry, and there's a code in the Muslim community across this country and across this world that if you shoot one of us, you shoot all of us. And we come together in solidarity to stand with each other, no matter the situation. So going to the hospital this morning and seeing my brother, my uncle, my brother in faith, in pain, laying on the hospital bed with bullet holes and blood on his hands. He wasn't even cleaned up. It was a very sad situation to see him like that because he's a very strong brother.
Yeah.
He still is in good spirits. He still is thankful of the community that has come to support him. He's grateful for the law enforcement that's actually looking into closing this case quickly. And he's also very positive, and his wife is very positive on an outcome, hoping that some good will come from this tragedy. Hoping that from this tragedy, we can come together as a community to clean the streets and to get rid of the riffraff and the people who are hurting and harming people in our community.
Right.
Because one of us goes down and a whole lot of us stand up. And you can't take everybody out in this community. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you.
Can you spell your name for us, please?
Yes, B-I-L-A-L, Bilal. Last name Muhammad, M-U-H-A-M-M-A-D.
Thank you.
Now we'll have the chiefs to say a few remarks.
So, thank you to the Imam and Director Bilal for allowing us here in the sacred space. We should all be embarrassed at what happened outside of here yesterday. This is a sacred space. The contrast between the individual leading prayer and elder walking with a cane that was a threat to no one, being shot by someone who is outside dealing poison in this community is ridiculous. All houses of worship in this city are sacred spaces, and we should be defending all of them. This one in particular is a source of hope for so many in this neighborhood, in this community. It's a source of meeting so many basic needs for many people in this community. And I know this is shocking because this shooter was obviously a danger to everyone in this neighborhood if he was going to attack an elder leading prayer that's walking with a cane. And so I'm thankful that he will survive. That's number one. But also that we were able to respond quickly. I'm thankful that as of this afternoon, we have a person in custody on unrelated charges that we believe is the shooter. So we will release more information on that as we are able to build this case. But we want the community to know that we do not believe that this individual is still on the street as a threat to others in the community. And so we'll release more information on that at a later time. But just again, we've increased patrols here and our presence here, and we will continue to do that for as long as is needed. And we want all people in this community to know that we are here to support, to respond, and we'll do everything we can to try and prevent something like this from happening again. Thank you.
I want to again thank the Imam and Director Bilal. Abdul Karim is not only an elder, but he is a legend. And what he did yesterday, we believe, is a heroic act. Public safety is a responsibility of all of us, not just law enforcement. As a community, we have to be the ones standing forward and making sure that crime is not per se pervasive in our community. Yesterday, Abdul Karim lived out his faith, because it's upon our faith to always stand up and say what is right, to always command what is good and forbid what is evil. He prayed, and he continued in prayer by standing up and doing the right thing. And I believe God was with him in that moment of even this man striking him, that he stood up to defend this community, to protect children from that type of behavior, to protect this community from that. And so we are today echoing this hero, recognizing his incredible sacrifice that sometimes is required, unfortunately, in this environment. I just hope that many people who hear this story today recognize that it is possible to clean up our streets. It is possible to stand up to those who are committing crimes in our community. And also to everyone, as you heard, This mosque has a long history of being tremendous stewards and servitude to the community. Just this past Saturday, thousands of people came to this parking lot in the Day of Dignity to get service, food, health care, all types of support that was taking place in this parking lot. Masjid An-Nur has always been a beacon of hope for North Minneapolis and to the rest of the state under the leadership of the Imam and this community. And it's a place of source of hope, but a source of resources. And so this attack on this mosque and to our beloved brother, we will not be silent. And I'm extremely appreciative to the immediate response by the police department and our chief for immediately taking this matter seriously and to bringing this individual to justice. And as we learn more about this, as the chief said, no house of worship should ever have to deal with this. But we are not going to back down. We are going to speak up. We are going to make sure that criminals in our communities know that places of worship not only are places where we will push you out, but we will organize through there and we will continue to be part of the solution in public safety in the city of Minneapolis. And for a 74-year-old to do what he did, it is an inspiration to the rest of us who oftentimes ignore, oftentimes do not live out our full faith. But he had the protection of God yesterday, and we believe in that. We truly believe in that. Today we will be offering a launch good to support him personally and his family as they go through this ordeal. We want the community in this moment of great frustration and pain to also feel a sense of hope and inspiration that we are not going to allow that type of behavior to continue in our streets, and we will do whatever it takes to do that. We've asked the community, and we'll continue to ask the community to always increase their security protocols at mosques. We know that is something of a concern for us. But we today, unfortunately, we are in a bittersweet where we are not only acknowledging our hero, but at the same time acknowledging a very dangerous thing that happened here and should never happen at this mosque. And with that, I would like to open up now for questions for the chief, the imam, or anyone else.
Thanks for having us today. Chief, can you at all, I know you said there's going to be more information coming out, but can you at all paint a picture about what led up to the arrest in any sense? Was it the surveillance? Was it witnesses? And who is this person?
We will release further information. Not able to say anything other than this was already a person of interest of ours for illegal activity before this happened. Yep. So it's someone who is already previously known to us.
Give you a taste of what goes
We want to speak about David.
on here.
Yeah, as we just mentioned, I'm grateful in this moment that, first of all, that our brother Abdul Kareem is alive and that he should survive this heinous act that was perpetrated upon him. But I'm also glad, again, just a couple of days ago on Saturday, we literally had hundreds, if not thousands of people on the property getting their basic needs met, as you mentioned, from food to other resources. Not many nonprofits that were here. We were serving the community. And I'm just glad that something like this didn't occur when we had so many children out, so many elders out, so many others. I mean, this could have really been a situation that would have saw maybe fatalities or something like that. So while we are hurting today, we're also feel blessed that more people wasn't exposed to this, because we would have been a very different situation that we would have been facing had this happened just a couple of days ago over the weekend. So again, this is something that is a staple for us. Service is a staple here at the mosque. Whether it's serving our seniors through Meals on Wheels or mentoring young people through our Sahaba Project mentoring project as well. So from all angles, we're being of service. And this won't stop. This won't deter us. We will continue to do this, but we want to put a call to action that we all have to be about public safety. We can't just rely simply on law enforcement, but we need to partner with law enforcement to make sure that our communities, our blocks, our streets, our communities are safe for all of us to live and to enjoy. So this will not deter us. In fact, this will embolden us even more to do more for the community. So again, just so grateful for the Minneapolis Police Department, the chief specifically, who responded right away, and I'm grateful. I am eternally grateful for that, as well as our community, our congregation, of your service, here, and all your team as well. So just want to have a note of appreciation, even in this moment that we're all sad.
I have a question. Are you changing any security protocols here, whether it's communicating with families who are coming in and out, or adding more cameras, anything like that?
Yes, we're evaluating. We were already in the process of evaluating and upgrading a lot of our security measures. Literally already. This just further just shows us the need to do those kinds of things. Yes, we're having upcoming meetings literally in a few hours to talk about security protocols and other things. So yes, all of this will happen. It was in the process, but this is, as you can see, understand, expediting that to happen. So.
Is the message getting out? I'm seemingly at a press conference like this almost every week. How do you go about changing this part of what's happening in our city?
I'll just say, this is a unique press conference. I'll just say that because we have someone who decided on their own will and sacrificed their life on behalf of the rest of us. Mm-hmm. That we haven't seen a lot of that, and I think it shows the tenacity, but most importantly, this community, this mosque, what it means to the neighborhood. Right. We're not going to just look at crime. We're going to get outside and do something about it. And it may risk our life, but we're willing to do it for the children and for the rest of our community. And I think we have had the other press conference, but we haven't had people putting their lives in the line to make sure that criminality doesn't happen. And that's the type of partnership that we need from our community with law enforcement to root out the type of press conferences that have been happening in our community for far too long. Absolutely. So I want to celebrate this man, yes, because what he did, not a lot of people would do. Right. But when they do it, we stand up and cheer them so that others can see them as a hero and as a role model. Absolutely,
absolutely. And I was just saying to the chief and others that we've seen an improvement overall here in the 4th precinct in our community. We've seen some improvement as well. So it hasn't been all bad, but still, there's still a lot of work to be done. And incidents like this show us that. Our work is not done. We still need to be vigilant. We still need to take measures. We still need to be as assertive as we need to make sure that the community is safe. So we're not out of the woods with this thing yet, but all is not lost here as well. We're not saying that. We're here highlighting and celebrating a hero in our eyes and others, and so that's the message that we want to be taken away from this message today. Yeah.
Chief, maybe you can speak to that a little bit, because there was a comment about a spike in the area and then also addressing sort of an improvement as well. So where is crime when you talk about that in this area?
I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but I know we had 2 incidents outside the Masjid here within the last week, a hit and run of an individual, and then this crime. So this is a place that is safe in the neighborhood, but to have 2 things happen so closely together where 2 people were significantly injured in both is a lot. And I do want to point out and thank the leaders that are here for what they're saying and standing up. We deal with this so many times, and we just refer to people as victims because they are victims of crime. But the story that's being told here today is different. The story that's being told here today is, in life, suffering is inevitable, but being a victim is a choice. And I think we've seen some real leadership here today from the community about what they're saying as far as making sure the public is in public safety in this area. So I'm thankful for that.
I had a quick clarifying question. This gentleman from the community, he walked up. Were they in a car then, or were they outside, or were they kind of reaching in a car? Were the people? I'm just confused about the layout of the.
Sure. So essentially, it was on 18th Avenue, up towards the maybe the Aldrich intersection, a little closer there. They proceeded when they came out of the mosque to, when they noticed what was happening, to walk towards them. As they walked towards them, people began to disperse as they saw what was happening. And again, that's when they had words, asked people to move on, and so on and so forth. That's when the driver of the vehicle drove and then ended up making a subsequent U-turn, came back and opened fire on him as well. So again, just something that doesn't happen often here on this particular area, but we have seen a couple of incidents of late. So the clarifying point was to say that we think that the work that we're doing here overall is working. We think it is working. We think it is working, but we still have a lot of work to do.
And did this appear to be like a drug-related incident that led up to this? Is there anything more you can say about that?
It appears to be, we don't know the full details
Right.
of exactly, but it was enough to know that that is not acceptable behavior in this block.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.